Libra, this is your tarot reading for May. There's a few indications that it feels a bit like Leo. But I have to forget about those because Leo's was an incredibly profound reading that surely not many signs are experiencing. If I look at the middle card, we have the Three of Pentacles, and that's about teamwork, that's about working with others. If we go to the bottom right, we have the Seven of Wands. That's you about scoring, about you having in the past scored some victories, but also made people jealous in scoring those victories. Maybe that jealousy also comes from your current energy, the Queen of Wands. She's somebody that people love, she's somebody that people follow, but she does have a tendency to use people. And probably following on from that, in the future we have the Seven of Swords. That's deception. That's somebody trying to get away with something. Somebody trying to pull the wool over your eyes. The energy that leads to the outcome is the King of Cups. A lovely king, an emotional king, a king who knows his emotions and knows those of others. But maybe a king that people seek to abuse, hence maybe that last card, the deception card. What would change the outcome is the Ace of Pentacles. It could be about you going looking for money, but I think it's new money coming to you. And the final card is the Nine of Swords, the card of worry and nightmares. Now I've no idea what you're worried about. Possibly it's the deception. Possibly it's what does this mean to your view of the world and your view of others? I'm not sure. So we need to look in greater detail at all of this, don't we, Libra? Leo, the Three of Pentacles is the energy that runs throughout all of this. So it's all about teamwork, all about working with others. Now, it's a particular type of teamwork. You do have your skills, and they're unique skills to you. And other people have unique skills, and you need that synergy to achieve what you want. So it's very much about working with others, and how you work. Oh, of course, how you work with others is absolutely critical. I mean, if you look at the card, I think is he a stonemason or is he he's a wood carver, I think. And, they're building, say, a chapel or a palace or a temple. And the others will have other skills, one might be the designer or the architect, another might be a stonemason. And you're all having to work together, come together to create what you need to create. But you do rely on others in order to be able to achieve this. Now, in the past, or the recent past, there's definitely been some struggles, but you've overcome them. You've fought, you've overcome the struggles of life. But in doing so, you've made others maybe jealous. Maybe you've trodden on a few people to get to where you need to be. There's certainly people looking at you and would like to see your downfall. Oh, that's the past, but I think it does continue. I'm not too certain that you need to be watchful of them, as much as understanding that there's all sorts of people in this world. I think maybe that's the message from this. And your current energy is the Queen of Wands. I mean, she's action orientated. Well, you do feel like a person of action. So, unlike Leo, which was a very sort of psychological reading, this is a reading probably much more tied to this material world. A reading where you take action, But you do work with other people, and remember the overall energy. You work with other people to achieve what you want. The negative side of that could be that you sometimes use other people and make them jealous, make them unhappy. And I think that is the lesson here. And you probably don't even recognise it, because you see that you've got a task and you need to work together for this task. But not everybody will share the same view of the world that you have, Libra. And I think that's the lesson that's coming out from this reading. One of the indications I have that people are jealous of you, or another indication I have that people are jealous of you, is in the future we have the Seven of Swords. This is the card of deception. You look at it, well, he's running off with 5 swords. He's left 2. He knows he's doing wrong, and he might not get away with it, because he's not far from the village. He might even realise that he's going to get caught and puts them back, or you might catch him. But there is a deception here. There's a deception going on. I don't think this is a global deception, as I've been picking up on some of the other signs, more in past months than right now. I think this is a deception that is personal to you, and it's because of people that you've having to work with. But it's more about, I think, yet again, you coming to terms with that it takes all sorts to make a world, really. Now, the energy that leads to the outcome is that of the King of Cups. He's a lovely king. He's a king that's empathetic towards himself, but empathetic towards others. He sees the best in people. I think that's important. But he is a king that people maybe do attempt to pull the wool over their eyes. His eyes. If you look at him, he looks great. He's powerful. He's in that wonderful. He's got that wonderful throne. He's dressed beautifully. But what the hell is he doing in the middle of the sea? He's almost like King Canute, isn't he? As though he feels he can stop the waves. And, I can't help but feel that and it's a great thing to be full of love. It's a great thing to see the best in people. But if you can't take the fact that people will deceive you, then maybe you do need to put up some barriers. He's just too open to abuse, maybe. And I've got to say, I wonder if this deception was about money, because the thing that would change the outcome is the Ace of Pentacles, which is almost certainly new money coming to you. So I wonder if the deception does come off, the deception's about money. There's no indication in this that you're feeling poor, but maybe you are. But maybe if a new opportunity comes to you, you forget all about this deception and move on with your life. That's the feeling I'm getting from this. Yeah, that if you have a gift of new money or new things happening, then you forget about what must feel like a bitter deception. Because you see, this deception gives you nightmares. You're lying in bed worried about what's happening. So it was clearly quite a profound deception. Sorry, I hadn't picked up on how bad it was. But you're lying awake at night worrying about it. You look, he's upright in bed, just full of worry. I think you're worried about what does it mean about your view of human nature. If you remember, I said you were the King of Cups, an all-loving person. And maybe you're just saying, oh God, maybe I shouldn't be so loving. Maybe things aren't quite as I felt they are. But, I know I've got to work with others in order to achieve this. But oh, I wasn't expecting this to happen. Why is life so difficult, you know? I think we need some clarification, but I think I've got it. And I'm going to seek clarification on this card of deception, because this does tell us really what it's all about, what's going on. And the first card is the Tower card. So this deception does bring dramatic changes to your life. It brings an end to something, an abrupt ending. It was probably an ending that was necessary because it exposes something that, you know, you'd built your house not on a solid foundation. The second card is the Queen of Cups, which does suggest to me you're a little too loving, a little too trusting. And the final card is the Seven of Pentacles, and that's you. It's about your long-term savings. So I'm right, it was about money. You're deceived over your long-term savings. Could this be about global events after all? It might be. It might be, yes. So the first card confirming this deception is the Tower. A sudden and abrupt ending. But it also suggests that you've placed your faith, or you've built your house on a bad foundation. That this was inevitable somehow. I'm not saying that you've not been deceived, but I think this is to do with investment. I think it's an investment that you were encouraged to do by somebody that you trusted. But, you know, if you'd thought about it, the returns looked too great to be true. Or, you know, there was something, if you'd only looked at it, you'd realise that it wasn't right. I see cryptocurrency like this. If you look at cryptocurrency, what possible point does it serve? The only point I can see it serving is to deceive those who've invested in it. Because I can't see any utility in it whatsoever. Now that's just me, as I, you know, sorry, this was in Leo when I said don't take financial advice from me, but you know, I think it's something like this. I think it's something that you really put your faith in and it's gone wrong. And now we have the Queen of Cups. Now she's a very loving queen, a bit like the King of Cups. But even more so than the King of Cups, she's somebody that people do take advantage of. So you've been a little bit too trusting, is the truth. You've been a little too trusting in others. You possibly even loved the people who advised you to get into this investment, or you loved the idea of the investment. Which, of course, cryptocurrency would be a great example, you know. It's not happened to me yet, but I keep going on about cryptocurrency. What possible utility does it have? And, you know, I'm expecting to get trolled over it because people are so passionate about it, you know. But let's face it, people who are engaged in pyramid selling are passionate about it, even though it's obviously fraudulent. So, yeah. Yeah, you devoted yourself to it, and yeah, it was a false promise. And now we have the 7 of Pentacles. Long-term, it's more than long-term investments. It's something you've been training for, something that you've been learning. So this is something that oh dear, whatever this investment was, or whatever this thing that you've been deceived over, it's something that you've put an awful lot into to learning. So, you know, these people who understand cryptocurrency, you know, they'll say, oh, well, yeah, but you're talking about an Ethereum, or, you know, you're talking about, it's like, cut through it. Just explain what is the utility of any of it, you know. And I think you've got trapped up in that. You know, there's so much you can learn, and yet none of it means anything. It's all a facade, and I think you've been trapped into that. Oh dear, sorry Libra, it's not nice this one. We're going to summarise. Libra, I don't think May's a happy month for you, I've got to be honest. You're going to be betrayed, and you're going to be betrayed about something that you care about very deeply, something you've been learning about. I can't help but feel that you've annoyed some people in the past. I'm not necessarily saying they're the ones who betray you. In fact, I think the people who betray you are people that you work with or work for, or certainly have a very close connection with, and I've invested a lot of your emotions in. No, but you have, I think, upset people in the past. Indeed, this deception, you might even be a part of this deception. You might be working for a company that is involved in deceiving others, and ultimately you get deceived yourself. But you're actually a very loving person, a very trusting person, and therein lies the problem. You're too loving, you're too trusting. You come across people with a good tale and you fall for it. Almost certainly this deception involves money, and the deception is so great that it completely alters your life. So supposing you were working for a company that was involved in deception, but you've also invested everything into it, and you're not, and you know, it gets found out and it comes crushing down, and not only do you lose your job, but you lose your life savings. It's something as dramatic as that happens to you. Because it's going to keep you awake at night. The outcome is you're going to be kept awake at night with worry. It completely changes your life. It really does. I'm sorry to have to tell you this. The world is full of the world is full of these sorts of deceptions now. In fact, there seem to be more of them than real work, real economy, you know, what is being produced anymore. So, but it's no consolation for me to tell you that, is it? All I can say is that the world is changing, and the world is going to change for the better, and you will be a part of that change, Libra. But I'm sorry you've got caught up in this in May.